Before you call them friend, gotta prove them first. Is there really loyalty when you're at your worst? We need to hit it raw like the wire. You're looking for some truth, I'll supply it. If you want it too soft, this ain't them. You gon' choose a law over sin. It's just some uncut gems. It's just some uncut gems.
We was diamonds in the dirt, just grinding in the turf. Our mama go berserk, trying to keep from riding in the hearse. Now we lions in the work, sons of Zion, we the church. Different color fridges is looking vibrant on my shirt until I'm lying in the dirt. I pray to be a fire hydrant with this word, like a geyser on the curb.
Hey, yo, y'all got a question? Hey, come on. What's up, man? Do you believe in God? You believe in the God of the Bible. How do you show you love him? Exactly. You follow his commandments. Where is his commandments located at? They're in Genesis through Deuteronomy. That's where his commandments are located. Yes, exactly. The instructions. Because when you see the word law, it goes back to Torah. Torah means instruction, right? Just like if you want to build something, so you get like a box or something, like a couch that's not put together. When you open it up, what's the first thing you see? Oh, let's say you bought like an IKEA, like a piece of IKEA furniture, right? It's not put together when you get it, right? When you open up the box, what's the first thing you see? Instructions. That's what the commandments of God are. For anybody to say they love God, you got to start at the beginning of this. You need to see what's up. Well, hold up, brother. Hold up, brother. Before we get there, before we get to Jesus, right? Because we can't, like our people, they're not ready for Jesus yet. They're not. Our people who walk around in darkness, you're not ready for Jesus unless you were sitting here reading the instructions. Because Christ, he's the finished product. Christ, because give me First Peter 2 verse 21. I'm gonna show you something real fast. Because like we said before, we open up a box of something that's not put together, you got the instructions, right? I'm gonna show you what Christ did.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, an example, that ye should follow his steps. Who did no sin.
Who did what?
Who did no sin.
Christ didn't do no sin. He's the finished product. That's that couch that's already been put together. That's that desk that's already been put together. We can't go to Christ already without seeing what the instructions are, bro. We gotta learn what we can and can't eat. Like pork. You know we're not supposed to eat pork? Not supposed to eat pork, not supposed to eat shellfish.
I'm not saying it's an excuse for us to sin, but he did die knowing that we would all sin.
In America, at a certain point, sure. That's true.
What we do, even the smallest things in life are sin. The fact that you cuss, when you curse.
Nah, bro. First John 3 verse 4. You got, and this is what I mean about the instruction. I know because the world showed you that. Give me this.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Sin is the transgression of the law. So the law is the instructions. You have to know what sin is. We can't say we're going to walk around and talk about Jesus, but if we don't know the instructions or why he needed to come in the first place, it don't matter. When you read a book, right, are you going to start in the middle? You're going to start in the beginning because so much story and so much context has been set up before you even get there. Christ is in the middle of this book. We can't sit here and talk about Christ if we ain't even read the beginning. Who's Abraham? Who's Isaac? Who's Jacob? Who's God's people after that? Before we even get to Christ, because he's the descendant of all of them. We can't just jump all the way there, bro. But like I said before, like how the Bible said, sin is transgression of this law. So we need to know that. You need to know that you're not supposed to eat pork, you're not supposed to eat shellfish. You got to keep a beard on your face like how you have. That's a commandment. Did you even know that?
So what's the advice for people learning the hard way?
What you mean learning the hard way?
Like,
at the very beginning? Let's say at the very beginning, if you want to start off reading, I would say read Deuteronomy first, because it gives you the law summarized really easily for you to understand. Then you have, I'll say read Matthew so you understand like what Christ did. Like, so you have, that's like the basis of the Bible. Then you start in the beginning. That's what I would say do. That's the easiest way for us to understand it, I would say. But you gotta get into these commandments. Because the thing is this, give me Amos 9 verse 10. I'm gonna show you something. Give me Revelation chapter 22:14. Watch this.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
So the Bible says through Amos's word, the Lord spoke to Amos and said, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. We already showed y'all sin is breaking the law, so what does that mean? That means you got to keep the law. Because if you don't keep it, you're going to what? Die by the sword. That don't mean just like a regular sword. That's just death. That's just an example of death. Watch this.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
The city is talking about New Jerusalem, the new kingdom that's going to come. So it says, blessed are those that do the commandments, that they have right to enter into that. So what does that mean? That's New Testament. You have to keep the commandments. This is the last, look at this. This is the last page of the Bible. Yeah, the last page of the Bible is for you to enter in, you got to keep these commandments. It's just how simple that is. The Christian church will make it seem like it's real freaking difficult and you got to do all this. No, it's simple. Watch this, right? Let me show you one more thing. Give me Romans chapter 4, verse 15.
But I was holding it, but there's no sin. The book of Romans, chapter 4 and verse 15. Because the law worketh wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression.
It's like how you said before that I feel like cursing is a sin. If there's no law on it, you can't say it's a sin. And honestly, for somebody to say it is a sin. Watch this. Yeah. No, not judging. Give me John 7. That's what you're for. John 7:24. Watch this.
Verse 16. Therefore it is of...
No, not that. I want Deuteronomy 4 too.
Right. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 2.
So we're about to read a law out of the Torah.
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish out from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you.
So there is no commandment about saying the F word, the S word, all that. I'm not saying just run around just saying stuff, but to say it is, now you're adding to God's law, which makes you a sinner. Right? Yeah, you can't do that. Right? Now about the judging thing, one thing we kind of need, like as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, is we believe these people are the Israelites. Right? What we need to do is we need to actually judge our people, because we have people walking around selling drugs, being murderers, making excuses for holding grudges on people. That's something that's got to stop, because that's what's been killing us since we've been here. That's what I was going into before y'all came up here. Watch this.
This is the book of John, chapter 7 and verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance.
Don't judge something based off the appearance, but do what?
But judge righteous judgment.
Judge righteous judgment. So Christ is literally telling you to judge righteous judgment. Now, what is righteous judgment? Where do we get that from? Deuteronomy 6. Watch this. 6:25.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness.
It shall be our righteousness. What?
If we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he commanded us.
That's how you judge people. And that needs to be brought out, because we all know somebody who's okay with selling drugs, okay with taking another man's wife. We all know people like that. That's something needs to be said about that. Because here's the thing, Christ, I know you tried. Your hands are clean at that point. Right. But here's the thing. Didn't Christ? I'm loosely paraphrasing, do unto others as you want somebody to do unto you. Would you want somebody to sell you something that's laced? Would you want somebody to take your wife? Or somebody to vice versa? Would you want somebody to kill you or kill your family member? So why would we be okay with somebody else doing it then? Why would we not say anything about that? That's evil. So when people say, oh, you can't judge somebody, that needs to be, because if y'all have kids at all, if you had a child, right, and you see a child in the middle of the street and the car is coming, are you gonna just be like, no, I'm not about to judge him? If he wants to be in the street, he can be in the street. No, you're going to run out there and go say something to him. That's what we're trying to do with our people. And y'all can do the same thing. What you got? Yeah, go ahead. And that's how you show love towards somebody. Watch
this out. Leviticus 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke.
It's like it. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor,
yeah,
and not suffer sin upon him.
You know what it means to rebuke your neighbor? No. That's rebuke. Yeah. Rebuke means to correct. You should correct your neighbor. Watch. We'll read it in another translation where it's not all freaking King Jamesy. Right? That's what I want to say. It's King Jamesy. What happened? Oh, this is the lily. This was in all the temples we had. Like, you know, the old temples you see, like in the Old Testament, like the temples of God that we went and had worship at. These were in there. These were in the pillars. Yeah. Watch this. Yeah, we're gonna read that same verse we just read in the NLT. Go ahead.
Leviticus 19 and verse 17 in the NLT. Do not nurse hatred in your heart for any of your relatives.
Yeah.
Confront people directly so you will not be held guilty for their sin.
People got to get confronted directly, right? Because here's the thing: if you don't say nothing about it, the Lord sees that; He's going to judge you for it. You're now going to be guilty just like how they are. If you just sit there and be okay with it, because I mean, what's the difference? You're okay with somebody killing your own people. You're literally just as bad as a killer. You might as well be an accomplice. So you should at least say something about it or do something about it. That's how you show you love somebody. Watch this.
Verse 18. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against a fellow Israelite.
Now watch this, right? That'd be a thing. Bearing grudges. Our people be holding on to stuff for years. That'd be dividing whole families off of grudges. That's a law. We're not allowed to do that towards our own people. Like this, because it says a fellow Israelite. Like I said before, you see these black, Hispanic, Native Americans? We the Israelites. You can't do that to your own people. We all know something silly, something small is divided a whole family. We all know somewhere, some branch of your family is completely divided off a grudge about something that's really petty. To this day, if we kept that, they'd all be together right now. You see how simple that is? You see how simple the Bible is if you just sit down and just like analyze it? This is something that will help us today. If we put this in practice today, our lives change. Keep going.
Come on. But love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord.
That's how you love your neighbor, by confronting them directly and don't hold grudges against them. That's how you do that. That's how, because people want to talk about love. That's how you show somebody love. I could give all y'all a hug, but then stab y'all in the back. Do I truly love y'all? I can't say that. A woman can say she loves you and she's your you're my man, but if she cheats on you, does she love you? It's contradictory. You show yourself to be a hypocrite. So what we're saying is we have to put our love into action. That's what we got to do, and we do that. We do that through keeping the commandments. 1 John 5. I know y'all probably got stuff to do. Right? Y'all in a hurry? Okay, I'm gonna show you something. 5 and 2.
1 John chapter 5 and verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God.
Yeah.
When we love God and keep His commandments.
I read this right before y'all walked up. The way that we show God that we love His people, right, is by keeping the commandments. Because the whole reason we went through slavery, and like you see that image right there, you see how that was forced on y'all through the conquistadors. The whole reason that happened is because we weren't keeping the commandments. So since we love God and we love y'all, we keep them ourselves in hopes that y'all would do the same. So enough of us do it to where the Lord saves us out of this place.
That's right.
Watch this. Read the next verse.
Come on, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous.
And that's how you show you love God. By keeping His commandments aren't grievous. Grievous means like you shouldn't want to hate what God loves. Like, you know what I mean? Like if He says like to love your neighbor, don't hold grudges. You're like, God, I hate that I have to keep that commandment. You don't love God, bro. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? That's what that's teaching. What shows the ethnic background? Is it like just Hispanic? Mexican and black, on which side?
My dad, black.
Black. Mexican, what about you? Just Mexican? You see yourself on the sign? Look at the very bottom. Not the pictures, the names. Hispanic, that's what God calls you. Issachar.
That's
right? Issachar. You, since your father is a so-called black man, this who you is right here. Judites. You a Jew. What's up? Yeah, all these is the children of Israel, God's sons that he had, right? They got scattered into various parts of America, right? The Jews got scattered over here in America. Y'all was already here. The Mexicans, the northern tribes, like this guy right here, y'all was already here. Y'all left a long time ago, right? That's why y'all look a little bit different from us, but still kind of the same. When you go down there, some of them is dark as me. Quite a bit of them is dark as me. I know this. I've seen these pictures. A lot of them look as dark as me, but we share a lot of the same phenotypes. We do the same thing, right? Do you know there's a place in Mexico right now called Issachar? Watch it. Somebody Google that real fast. Issachar? Yeah. Yeah, I see you. Yeah. Cause check this out, right? Where did they even get that from? Like, you think about America, white men over here naming places off of their forefathers. So, where would they get that name from? That name only exists here in this book. It exists in the Bible, right?
Talk about it.
So, how could they just randomly pick a child of Israel's name and name it as their city, unless they actually are a descendant of Israel? Like, how do we can't just say that's a coincidence. You pull it up? Yeah, right there. Show them that. That's an actual city of Mexico right now. That same pronunciation is Issachar in the Bible. So that's a coincidence? Check this out, right? In that same place, they used to use obsidian, right? Obsidian stones and circumcise their children. That's a practice of the Israelites. Is that a coincidence? They kept land Sabbaths. Is that a coincidence? That's in the Bible. All these things can't be coincidence. And for her, right, she's a Jew, so she got a different lineage. I mean, it's the same, but she's like a cousin to it, right? Because the reason why she's different, because she said her father's a black man. Give me Numbers. Give me Numbers 1 verse 18. Let me show you something. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
The book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families.
You know what a pedigree is? Pedigree is your lineage. You declare, right here, so they declared their lineages or their pedigrees after their fathers. Her father's so-called black man. The American Negroes over here, they descended from the tribe of Judah. Did you know Christ was black? Did you know that? Watch this. Give me Revelation 1. Let me show you something. Give me your Revelations. Oh, I should see him too. Go ahead. Yeah, you good.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head...
No, start at verse 1. Actually, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Revelation 1 and 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So this was happening here in Revelation, the first chapter. They're revealing Christ. It's a revelation of revealing of Christ. Now go to the point.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
It was white and woolly. Is that white and woolly hair? That's not white. That's not white and woolly. That's not what this description is. Go ahead.
As white as snow.
Is that white as snow? Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Is his eyes a flame of fire? It's not. Watch this.
Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
So John the Revelator is seeing him. He's looking down at his feet, right? If I look right down at your feet, what color is your feet? It's the same color as your body, isn't it? So watch this. His feet is what?
And his feet like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? It's like brown, amber brown. But it's about to show you how brown this is. Go ahead.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if it burned in a furnace. When you burn something in a furnace, what does it look like? No, like, not as it's in there, but after. It said burned, ED, past tense. It's burnished. You know what burnished brass looks like? It's dark, super dark, dark. That's a black man right there. Watch this, right? Because you also, like you said before, your father's a so-called black man. Get Acts 13. Let me show you something. You know the prophets, the Jews, was called the N-word in the Bible? You heard that before? Watch this.
Book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger.
Called what?
Nigger.
That's in the Bible. But those people over there get to call themselves Jews. Literally in
And when
there.
you read it in another translation, it'll say the black man.
Literally. It literally calls him the black man. So that's a Jew. So who are those people over there? They don't fit that. Christ was a dark-skinned man. Christ is a Jew. These Jews called nigga, literally. So who are those people? Those are some imposters. Watch this. Give me, yes. You're already there.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
But I know that works and tribulation and poverty. Are those people over there impoverished? Are they impoverished? Those people with their small hats. Them Jews, right? Yeah, the movie ones. Be funny. I'm gonna start using that. The movie ones, right? Are they impoverished? No, they represent like what, 2% of the population, and then have like the highest 2% of the wealth. Those people aren't impoverished. He's talking to the real Jews right here when he's saying this. I know that works and tribulation and poverty, right? They're not impoverished. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
Yeah.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
The blasphemy. You know what blasphemy is? That's an evil and wicked lie. That's what blasphemy is. Watch this.
Which say they are Jews and are not.
And are what?
And are not.
So the Bible says there's going to be a people who pretend to be Jews, but they're not. And the true Jews are going to be impoverished and have gruesome works. That's captivity. That's having to work for somebody. Who does that sound like? That sounds like us. That sounds like the people on this sign who go through tribulation every day. We work ourselves to the bone to have nothing afterwards, but these people get to walk around with all the riches and do whatever they want. Why is that? Why is that though? Like, do y'all think the Bible says anything about that? Watch this. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Watch this.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If you don't listen to God, go ahead.
To observe, to do all his commandments.
The instructions, right? The law, go ahead.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he's telling the Israelites, who we believe we are, right? If we don't listen to God and keep his law, statutes, and commandments, we're going to be cursed. Watch one of these curses. Go to verse 30.
Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Did that happen to y'all and us? When the conquistadors happened, what happened to y'all's wives? When they came to Mexico, what was they doing to y'all wives? The same thing they was doing to ours, right? It starts with it rhymes with grape and it starts with an R, right? That's what they was doing to y'all's wives, the same thing they did to us, right? We should betroth a wife and another man shall lie with her. Go ahead.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Who built up America? Who built up the Americas? The government, bro. Physically, who built up America? We did. Blacks and Hispanics built this place up. Y'all be working on the architecture right now in this place for nothing.
Construction right now.
Right. Literally right now. Watch this. But read that part again.
Right. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Go to verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Now, when they was rounding up Hispanics who came over here illegally, even though that was y'all's land, it still is y'all's land, came over here illegally, what happened to them? Now, before they got deported back, they put them in cages, right? We all saw those videos and them pictures about how they had y'all's kids in cages separated from the parents and losing them. Watch this. Still, to this day, but watch this.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Yeah.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Yeah.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
There was no might in y'all's hand. When y'all got separate, when the Hispanics who came over illegally, right, had their kids separated from them, they had to watch their kids over there, and then they could wake up another day and the kid be gone. And they don't know where they at. That's the same curse that's happening right here in Deuteronomy 32. The same exact one. Huh? I mean, that too. But the crux of it is you won't have any might to do anything about it. God's allowing that to happen because we are a cursed people for not listening to God's commandments. Go to verse 48.
John, verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So when you want to buy anything, who do you have to go to buy it? Who owns everything here?
The gringo.
Hispanics don't own nothing here. You can go to the supermercados, right? You know who owns that? Not a Hispanic. A white person owns that. They put a face on it for y'all, and then y'all go purchase it. Purchase things there. That's what happens. Y'all, and same thing for us. If we want something, I got to go to Walmart, Kroger, Tom's, all these things. We don't have anything, but watch the next part.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Who's had a yoke of iron upon their neck? Do you know nothing about it? You got your phone on you right there? Are you recording anything? Go on Google right now, real quick. Let me show you something. Type in the phrase yoke of iron. Judites. So you can't. Yeah, I want you to see this. I'm out here to make the Bible real for my people. Did you look at the images? Here, images. Yeah, look at that. That's a yoke of iron. Who had that on? Slaves, us. So not only will you have to go to another people for one of everything, clothing, food, everything, right? You will have a yoke of iron put upon your neck. That's our experience over here in America. Not just black people, but Hispanics as well, when the conquistadors came. We're reading our history in the Bible, what happened to us since we've been in America. Watch this, go to verse 68. I'm gonna show you this, right? This is the very last curse.
Verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Egypt is synonymous with captivity, just like how we had in Exodus, right? So I'm gonna bring you into slavery again with what?
With ships.
Who came over here on ships? I mean, black people. Y'all didn't hear about the transatlantic slave trade? We came over here on slave ships. Y'all got shipped from here to Spain on slave ships. Y'all with the Native Americans. That's both of our experiences. Y'all represent both. Honestly, you being Hispanic, you being a Judite, y'all the perfect representation of our entire nation.
That's right.
Literally. Y'all went before us. We went together at the same time. That's something we have to experience. And watch this. After we got sent here from slave ships, watch what happened. Go ahead.
Come. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Yeah.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Yeah.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Yeah.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
Yeah.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
We should be sold to our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. When we got sent here, what happened? We were sold. To who? Who was we sold to? The so-called white man, who's always been our enemy. Think about this, bro. The people who get to walk up and down, have all the money and all the wealth and all the riches, this is why they have it. Because we transgressed our laws, didn't listen to God, and now we had to go on slave ships. That's why they get to walk around like everything's okay, and we have to work for them for nothing. This book right here tells you about everything about life and why you're in your situation you're in right now. It's the same one I'm in, the same one he's in, the same one all of us are in because we God's chosen people.
That's right.
All we got to do is come back to the Father. That's all we got to do. Read verse 30, chapter 30. Right? Because we're about to close out. I want to show y'all this before we close out. Yeah, from the top.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse.
We just showed y'all the curses. When all these things shall come upon you, the blessings and the curse, you just seen those. Watch this.
Which I have set before thee.
Yeah.
And thou shalt call them to mind.
Yeah.
Among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee.
Because this ain't originally our land. The Lord driven us here through us being sinners and going through those curses, right? You should call these into mind like I'm allowing y'all to do right here. Because nobody's going to show y'all this. The Christian church ain't going to show y'all this. Except people, except brothers like us on the streets. We're bring them to your remembrance. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I commanded this day.
Yeah.
Thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
So you and your children need to return back to the Father. The reason we got brought on slave ships, the same reason we had to worship a white Christ, the same reason we have nothing as a people is because we haven't returned back to the Father. But if y'all do that, your children do that, our children do that, this is what's going to happen. Watch this.
Verse 3. That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
Yeah, turn thy captivity means save you from captivity. Go ahead.
And have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
So since the Lord scattered us here, he's going to come back and get us if we return unto him. That's all we got to do. That's the whole reason we out here. We're not trying to take people's money, right? We're trying to give y'all this for free because we want to be saved too. Since we love y'all, we want y'all to be saved too. That's right. That's why we came out here, bro. And I need one more for y'all go. Psalms 126. I like this. This one's real quick. This one's real quick, man. Could y'all imagine a life where you had servants for you, you didn't have to work, you had infinite amounts of money, right? And all you had to do was just love your family and live how you want to. Could you imagine a life like that? It's hard to imagine, right? Watch this. Give me Psalms. It do. Watch this. 126. Yeah, give it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 126 and verse 1.
Yeah.
When Yahweh turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dreamed.
We were like them that dreamed. It's a dream for us to think about a life so you don't have to worry about a family member on drugs. You don't have to worry about if I'm going to make rent this month. You don't have to worry about anything. That's a life we can't even imagine. That's what we're going to get when the Lord turns our captivity and saves us. All we got to do is return. That's it. That's the mission. That's what we need to do, bro. So I'm happy y'all came down to listen, man. Dab me up, man. Dab me up, man. You get one of those too, man. Y'all got flyers? All praise. Yeah, get the sister a flyer too. Get her a flyer too. Check us out. All right, brother. That's why I got the sick. All praise. I got new ones right here. I got one. I got new ones right here. I got one. I got one you gave me? Yeah, check that out. Got my number on it. It's got our YouTube channels on it. It got who you are on it and more information. Check that out. That's what we're trying to give our people. Y'all not Hispanic, y'all not black.
I seen y'all last time I wanted to stop.
All right. Yeah.
We're here now, son.
Right. And that's all that matters. And that's all that matters. Y'all be safe, man. And that's what we come out here for. That's right. And that's what we come out here for, man. With that, I would say, call halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and say Shalom. Shalom.